Hello, welcome to ArchoniaFest 2026. Woo!
Sorry if I'm a little sleepy, waking up.
Alan and I decided to sit here just because we're bros.
Yeah.
And there's nobody over there.
Yeah.
But it doesn't matter because we're bros.
Don't worry, everyone else will be here later on.
Yeah. Max is hopefully going to join us before the end of the welcome. That's why there's another.
This is only for the hardcores right now.
Yeah.
This is the hardcore only people.
That's why Pepper's here. What's up, Pepper?
Not much. Thanks for having me on. I know it's like 9 o'clock your time, but it's 11 my time. I've just been putzing around, prepared.
Yeah.
11 p.m., right? Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, Pepper's in Japan.
The Midwest.
Take it away.
All right. Hey, I wrote talking points.
Nice.
For this one. If you don't know the channel, this is Shadows of Archonia, and we are here for ArchoniaFest this weekend, celebrating 7 years of streaming games.
Has it been 7 years?
Our first stream was in June of 2019.
No way.
Shadows of Archonia Campaign 1, Episode
like
1. I've checked. I don't remember the exact date, but it was June of 2019. Christian in the YouTube chat, thanks for being here. He'll be joining us in about an hour and a half or so.
Morning.
For Dungeon Crawl Classics, our first game of the weekend. We have, I think, 8 games. Today there's 4. Today's real busy because we got 4 games, 2 interviews in this stream. We have DCC, it's our first one. Fiasco, Index Card RPG, and then our episode 18 of our usual Shadow Dark game are all today, along with interviews with Christian Bynum, who's in the chat right now, about his upcoming online convention, Crit, coming back again for this year. And Jose Ramon Balcells will be with us after that. Those 3 things, the DCC game and the 2 interviews, are crammed together. There's not even a 5-minute break in between. So I'm going to try and end each one just a couple minutes early because we just didn't have time in the schedule. But tomorrow will be a little bit lighter. We're only doing 3 games, so they're extra long ones. Call of Cthulhu, which Alan is running. Then Matt will run another DCC game in a different setting. And his is original. I'm running Beneath the Isle of the Serpents, which is a published adventure by Bob Brinkman. I'll be running that today. Matt's is doing something original, and there's information about it that I know that I can't tell you yet, but it's awesome. And then following that, Cindy will be running Black Powder and Brimstone, and I'm really looking forward to that tomorrow night.
Me too.
Because it's a brand new Merkborg system that new to us. We've never played it. It's got a lot more tweaks and complexities than most of the Borgs that we've played. And also,
I like that though.
Joshua and Edward will both be here in person for it, along with Max and Yuri and us two. And Cindy will be the only remote person GMing it from Alaska. So that's going to be awesome. And then, of course, Sunday morning will be Max running his own game, Beyond the Light, with myself, Yuri, and Edward as players. I believe Edward will be remote for that. I told him, you can just crash here and stay for the morning game, but I don't think he's going to. So that'll be great. Hey, Christian, are we getting any echo, especially when Pepper speaks? I'm done talking.
But 7 years. It really has a... Wow, that means when I first met you guys, it was maybe 10 years? No.
Oh, yeah. Way more than 10 years. We played for years in the evening group before Shadows of Archonia even existed.
Oh, man.
Remember, we did... I ran Out of the Abyss in 5th edition, and that took like 2 years just to run that. And then we did Dwight's game, which we only had a session every 16 months.
That Dwight game was so much fun. Like if you want to talk like quintessential D&D campaign for like people who don't stream.
GM disappears to Japan for a while, comes back Jewish for some reason.
Only 1 game a month.
Moves to Tennessee.
Dude, when he came, I always mention this, but when he came back, and he was just like, he didn't know, he didn't even know what the story was happening.
Yeah.
Like he was just like, oh, where were you guys last time? And then he did this thing where he did a Matrix thing.
Yeah.
Where we just woke up in pods. Like the whole thing was just a simulation. And I was just like, oh my goodness, this is. But that was like, but those were long sessions. I think you would play like 6 hours.
We would play 6 or 8 hours. But yeah, I don't want to keep ragging on Dwight, but my favorite.
No, he was great.
He was gone for 6 months and then came back. Was an
No.
hour late to his session and then had to leave early. His own session.
Like, no, I thank him for that.
Yeah.
Because that was like quintessential DM, like casual DM stuff.
You guys keep talking, please. I'm going to find something to dampen the sound on that wall because it's all flat and I'm being told there's a little bit of reverb.
All right.
Yeah, I'm not trying to talk too much as I know it can cut off the mic for you guys. So
Well, tell me, Pepper, when did you first start playing with us?
gosh, I don't it's been a few years now. I think we actually started or actually jumped on the first time was what was that? Hypertellurians, I think. And and then there was a Dungeon Crawl Classic game that came after. But yeah, it's been a few years now. So.
What was your favorite game you played with us?
Oh gracious, that's a tough question because God, we've played so many good ones. I remember Steve running "Don't Rest Your Head." That was just bizarre. Really liked that setup, but also God, the Dresden's Files. I really liked when we played that. It really is just tough to like isolate all those. It really is.
Because when we first started the bad log, you were like a Hall of Famer for a while. You, Steve, Jason, I noticed were like playing the bad log
Pretty much every week, yes.
A lot.
That is correct. Pepper and Jason both were in the very first one, which was a Hypertellurians game, and that was December 2020. Mm-hmm. And yeah, nothing's ever gone wrong since.
It's crazy that 2020 was 6 years ago. It doesn't feel like that to me. Time flies, man. But no, I tell Steve all the time, I'm so blessed to be part of the crew. Love playing with you guys. It's just D&D role playing in general is just great. You hang out with friends, joke around. I'm happy that I found this group because you hear so many horror stories online of people who try to find groups, but there's always something that goes wrong. Like either the group like disbands or there's like one or two people in the group who are like terrible, like actual terrible people. Like, including being bad role players or something like that.
Oh, I see Sam in the chat. Yeah, we played Hypertellurians a number of times on here. We had a good run there where Pepper, Jason, and Sarah had a trio that was in 3 or 4 different stories. It's one of our favorites. We've had the creator also, Frank Redding, Motocross, on the channel. He was in last year's ArchoniaFest. He ran his, at the time, new game, Walden. He recently ran another Kickstarter, which I backed. And I forget what it was even for. I just saw his name and backed it.
Yeah, if you don't mind, I'd like to take a moment to shout out my 2 regular players, Dustin and suddenly my brain just went, where did that go? Anyway, but yeah, my 2 players, I just want to shout out to them real quick. So thank you guys on my end. Oh, hi, Steve.
Oh, hello.
I want to get back. I'm going to read the chat. I want to get back into more of my games on TF.
Tales from the Backlog.
Yeah, Tales from the Backlog. He says, so much you at the channel, you run mean games. Thank you. Appreciate that. Now, I remember the longest time I would be afraid to GM, but now I can't wait to GM. I've done a complete 180 where I feel like I want to GM more than I want to actually play.
That's kind of how I feel. Initially, when Steve offered me the opportunity to run a game, I was so nervous. I worked on that session forever. And even that night, I was like, oh, this is going to be terrible. But I guess it worked out all right.
I remember, and I maybe come from a different place because I have been a hobbyist filmmaker since I was 7 years old. And I've been seeing myself on camera all my life, and I'm just used to it. But I remember being a little confused by how nervous you were, because I knew you were a very experienced GM off camera, and you'd been on the show on camera many times as a player. And I was like, why is it so weird to combine the two? I don't get it.
Well, you want to make sure you're doing a good job. And
yeah, when people are watching, it's different. I get it a little bit. But at the time, I was like, all right.
And you want to make sure you memorize all the stuff you're trying to do for that session. But now, I realize now that I never plan more than one session ahead. Like I always plan for the next session.
Yeah.
So if I don't know what's going to happen in the future, I just kind of come there with a good mindset and just be like, okay, I think you guys are going to go this direction, but if you don't, it's fine.
He's just throwing shit at me over here. What was that? It was Yuri's dad.
I've definitely gotten over that nervousness, though. Thanks, Steve.
No, but I was going to say, man, but over the years, this is something for a question for Steve. Do you think campaign 1 or 2 was more hard to run?
Hard to run. I mean, pros and cons on both, right? Obviously, in campaign 1, I was, still getting used to the idea of GMing on camera. So it's something that, and this relates back to what I was just saying about you, Pepper. Something that I remember about myself was from campaign 1. Back then, we were streaming to Twitch first and then uploading to YouTube later with recordings. And I remember several times when I made a rules mistake and edited it out of the YouTube version. Because, there were people out there like Monty Martin and Matt Mercer. And trust me, I've seen those guys make rules mistakes. But I was like, oh, no, I can't afford to. I'm such a small streamer. And by the time we started Tales from the Backlog, I was so over that.
Yeah.
It was just like, it doesn't matter. Everyone makes rules mistakes. The books are this thick. Or in the case of, some of the stuff we run on Backlog, the books are only this thick. But, like, we just read them 3 days ago. So it's like, it's important for the GM to know the rules. But I think in campaign 1, I came in with the assumption that the GM should be the person who knows the rules best at the table. The GM should know every rule, or at least know how to quickly look it up. And if anyone makes a mistake, it's got to be me that catches it. And I just don't have that perspective anymore. Like, of course you need to know how to run your own game, but it no longer, like, for years, it doesn't bother me at all for a player to be like, Steve, that you got that wrong. Because it's like, of course I'm gonna get it wrong. I just learned this game.
Yeah, and I think it's fine because it's supposed to be a community thing where we kind of help each other. Like if I make a mistake with Shadow Dark, just let me know and we can fix it. And no big deal. Yeah. It's not the end of the world. We don't have to play it completely perfect.
Yeah.
And also I don't mind as long as it's not all the time. I know I have a knack for doing it more than I should, but we'll sometimes go back in time, maybe a few minutes, and just be like, okay, we can fix it. We can fix what happened, basically.
Yeah, that's true too.
Yeah, but
get back to your question about which one was harder to run. I think for that reason, where it was just like, how do I look on camera? Campaign 1 was a little harder. That and just learning all the tech. In terms of the game, I think campaign 2 was harder.
This was the biggest improvement, like the no loves.
Oh well, yeah, this didn't happen till January this year.
It's just felt so free since we did that because this is Because there was so many moments where you would be like going up and it would just fall off.
Yes.
Or I would do like a roll and get excited and accidentally hit it off my shoulder, my chest.
Yeah, you guys and the viewers and Pepper can't see what we're gesturing to, but there's a whole rack of shotgun mics above us now.
Yeah.
Until January of this year, it was lavalier mics clipped to our shirts, and it was bad.
Who let these weirdos into the chat? Who's that? 2716 Gaming.
Must be a friend of Chris and Sam, I hope.
And Sam says keep play going and running smooth. It's definitely more important than the rules. Yeah.
Yeah, agree.
Yeah, I lean on my players a lot.
Sorry. Go ahead.
My apologies. Again, I know the mics will cut you out when I speak, but yeah, I do lean on my players. Again, Mark and Dustin a lot when I run my personal game here. So
Yeah. But
totally fine with it.
by all means, use the fact that you can cut off our mics to your advantage, not ours.
Yeah.
Because we're here together and there will be a natural tendency for us to talk over you, especially since the volume's a little low out of necessity. So by all means, talk over us. We'll let you go.
No, yeah. And but that's the beauty of role playing. It's just you have the advantage of being able to talk things out.
Yeah.
Because that's what you can't do that in regular video games. You have to go by the rules unless you mod the game, you know. But this is what's so good about D&D or TTRPGs is that you can work together to find the best spot, like
Sure. For your group.
for your group.
Because it's different for everyone.
Yeah, because like for shared, like for my campaigns, I love doing. My rule for critical successes when you're doing an attack is that it's max damage plus a die roll
Yeah.
That's how I like to do it.
That's how we always did it in D&D as well.
Because it just feels so much better to get that nice max damage and then a roll. Versus what the book says is just roll the dice twice.
Right.
Which could be 2 1s.
Although,
So, you know.
I would say in a lower number system like Shadow Dark, I might do just max damage and not add the extra roll. Because for sure, there's nothing worse than getting a crit and then rolling super low on damage. Because, and that's why we had that homebrew rule in 5e, because that was a huge number system. But it was also very possible to roll low on damage because it had the same.
Just roll
the dice twice, and if you just if it comes up 1s and 2s, then you may as well have not critted.
Yeah, exactly.
So that's why we did it that way in that game. But for I forget what I did for Worlds Without Number. What was the crit rule we had? It was something appropriate. Oh, I know what I did. It was max damage. No, it was never max damage. It was just a die roll, but you add half your level in damage is what we did. Because it was such a lower number system. It's like, I want them to get something for a crit, but I don't want them to just one-shot every enemy by like maxing the damage and then rolling it and potentially maxing it twice. But yeah.
No, it's interesting because in Shadow Dark, the enemies you fight are pretty strong. But I just like having players having that nice hit because you know you'll have those nights where everyone rolls a 20 for some reason in one turn. You know? Yeah. But it doesn't happen that often.
It does not happen that often.
So I like to make it a cool moment.
Chat, just a question. We were told earlier that there was a little bit of like reverb on the local mics. Has that changed at all since I hung up those cloths on the other side of the room? I expect it to change more when there's bodies over there, but for now, that's what I can do.
Pepper, let me ask you, what's your favorite rule when it comes to a character hitting 0 hit points? Do you want them to die outright, be unconscious, have a chance to wake them up? What's the rule you like the best?
I like to give them an opportunity to survive. If someone can get to them and heal them within a round, then yeah, we can bring them back. But I'm not a big fan of death saves.
So you only want one round?
Typically 1 round, yeah.
Interesting. Okay. I was expecting you, because so you don't want them rolling like a D4 and having like 4 rounds to survive.
That's the shadow.
Yeah.
I was gonna say it would kind of depend on the level of damage because you could go into like in 3.5 and such. You could go into negative hit points, and then that could.
I do
Could
like
turn
how
the
in
number
some
of-
systems they say if you get hit by like -5 or -8 damage, you just die outright. I do like that rule.
Yeah. Well, D&D 5th edition has I think the rule was if you reach negative half your max hit points, then you die outright. But that's never going to happen because you had 85 hit points.
Yeah. No.
Plus resistances and everything else.
I like. Oddly enough, I'm really excited to try how Brimstone does it, where it's Morkborg rules where in Morkborg, if you get hit negative, you die. Just there's no thing. But they have this cool system where if you hit right on the money
On zero,
there's a chance you survive, but you get like a scar or you lose a limb or something like that.
Yeah.
But in Brimstone, they have this new set of rules where if you hit negative, you'll roll on that D4, and there's a chance you'll survive.
Actually, Brimstone made it a little nicer on the players in two ways. One, it's called being broken in Merkborg. If you hit 0 and then you get that D4 table, it's called being broken. But like you said, it doesn't happen on negative. But in Brimstone, not only can you roll it on a negative hit point number, which means you always have a chance to just become broken. It's also not a D4 table. It's a D6 now.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, I did. Okay. Yeah.
So, and I'm pretty sure it's still only the top number that kills you.
Yeah.
So it's a little bit softer.
So you still get that threat, but it's not as.
Yeah.
Because I do love the lethalness of Morkborg, but I do want characters to survive just a little longer. It's a little bit too on the money.
Well, I remember when, and I recently reposted in the Discord chat the short we made of this. I remember when Pepper was running, I think it was Apeborg, and Cindy hit 0 and got the broken table, and Pepper was just like, I hate it. I hate losing players. You look so terrified that people were going to be mad at you. It was like, it's Merkborg, man. We knew we were going to die when we signed up.
Yeah. I like.
It was just she had literally just joined the game. It was like within the first scene with her, and I'm like, let's bring her back. So yeah.
Like Chris says, I like having a couple rounds to bleed out because other people have wade into danger to try to save you, and it can make for some great moments. Yeah, but every time your PC goes down, yeah, like there has to be. That's why there's so many different rules for dying, because people have their own takes.
Well, also it depends on the system. Systems have a different vibe. Like it's okay that D&D has less mortality.
Like
it's a different genre,
Like I just got Dolemwood this year, and Dolemwood, even though that Dolemwood looks super cute and whimsical and fairy, like all having a good time. Rules is written in Dolemwood, you die at 0.
Yeah.
There's actually an optional rule that has a death door mechanic where you don't die at 0, but you can only get back up with magic, and every round there's a 2 in 6 chance that you just die.
Right.
So Dolemwood's crazy.
Dolemwood is hardcore.
I did my first TPK in Dolemwood.
Yeah, I think, and Pepper, you can remind me if you remember another time, but we were talking about it. I think it's the first just outright TPK ever on the channel. Because we did not finish the adventure. We all died.
Yeah.
I remember. There was one other. It was in the Green Knight.
Oh.
It was in the Green Knight. It was me, Cody, and Jason in that game with Matt Groves, who hasn't been on the channel in years, running it. But okay, so it's only the second one. And in that case, I blame the game. In the Green Knight, I blame the game because they had... well, I don't want to get into it, and I probably don't remember very clearly right now, but basically, like, there were things we weren't supposed to be doing that we weren't told.
Okay.
And it cost us a lot of our resources early in the game before we figured it out, and then we died.
No, but it's great doing it. Now I think DMs are really afraid for their players to die at first, but I think I've reached the point now where I am more comfortable letting it happen. There's still moments where I'm like, oh shoot, they're all about to die. Maybe I should try to help them somehow. But I really try to stop myself from doing that.
I'd like to go back in the chat a little bit. I saw Andrew put in there, I like Mothership's death rules, but I know that isn't for everyone. What are Mothership's death rules? I don't remember.
Yeah, what does Mothership do?
I haven't played Mothership in a year and a half. Let's find out.
Grit gives you the opportunity to choose a blaze of glory or a second chance. Come back to 5 HP. Everyone has 10. And you can only do it once. I do like the idea of coming back to just do one last thing and then you die. I think that's in Daggerheart. That's like the one rule I like in Daggerheart. No shade to Critical Role players, but
Okay, here's my take on Daggerheart. This is my hot take. Are you ready?
here it comes.
Daggerheart is nothing except powered by the apocalypse plus the meta currencies from 2D20. That's all Daggerheart is.
Man, that's hot.
And and here's the thing, I'm pretty sure the Daggerheart game designers would agree with me. They'd probably say, oh, we tweak this, we tweak that. All Powered by the Apocalypse games do. But, I mean, they even have Powered by the Apocalypse. It's like on the first line of their list of inspirations. So it's not like they don't know they did that. But, yeah, I mean, that's what it is. And so if you don't like Powered by the Apocalypse, you're not going to like Daggerheart.
Yeah.
And even though I've run it a few times, that's kind of the camp I'm in. It's fine. It's fine.
TCRPG I play, if you get dropped to -10, you gone instantly.
Oh,
Obliterated.
yeah.
Stuff like Dragon Breath ought to do that, yeah. No, that's good. I think, yeah, -10 should be... That's it.
I've got the death rules from Mothership. Andrew was just saying in the chat. If your death seems imminent, make your last moments count, save someone's life, solve an important mystery, give the others time to escape. When you die, which happens when you take your wounds equal to your maximum, you make a death save by placing 1d10 in a cup, shaking the cup, and placing it face down on the table, covering the die. As soon as someone spends a turn checking your vitals, the die is revealed, and the roll is looked up on the death table below. Yes.
Interesting.
That makes sense. And you remember, I had a house rule in Campaign 1. You remember what the house rule was?
Yeah, we don't know what the death save is.
That's right. In D&D 5th edition, you roll a death save. If it's 10 or higher, you get a success. 1 to 9, you get a failure, and 3 successes, you're up. 3 failures, you're down.
Yeah.
But in my house rule was I, the GM, would roll the saves and not show the players. And I would track whether they were still alive or not. Because my thinking was, in a combat situation, you can't glance over and see if that guy lying there is finished bleeding out or not.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's similar.
No, I do really like that. And now, since we're talking about death so much, for Campaign 3, I think there probably is going to be a lot more deaths, because now we're going to be playing DCC, which is, I think, well, yes and no, maybe not. I know DCC, when you hit 0, there's this thing where if someone checks on your body, there's a chance that you're still alive.
Yeah.
So I know that's an interesting rule.
Yeah, DCC, I'm still learning. It's one of the reasons we're running 2 of them this weekend.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure when you hit 0 in DCC, there's a rule where someone checks on your body and you get to make a roll, and there's a chance that you're just unconscious.
Yeah.
So the whole time you're laying there, someone could check you and you'll be okay.
Absolutely.
But it's gonna be interesting. Hope and Fear is totally just 2020 momentum.
2d20.
2d20 momentum
And threat.
and threat.
Yeah, he's agreeing with what I said about Daggerheart.
No, like, also, I'm not a big fan. My hot take is that I'm not a big fan of the whole you succeed but you fail at the same time, or you fail but you succeed at the same time. I think you should just fail or succeed. Like I don't think that should be like I missed the attack, but I feel good about it.
Well, there are a lot of games that have like a success but with a consequence, or failure but, something random happens. And that's just a different way of telling the story, because in those systems, the dice roll isn't just about did the character succeed at a single action or not. It's like revealing the next thing that happens in the narrative. It makes sense in some games.
Now, Pepper, I got a question for you. I know this is going to be a really hard question, but what system do you think is your favorite? What TTRPG system?
Oh, good. That is a tough question. I do like the board rules. I really did kind of fall in love with a Scum and Villainy, the Forged in the Dark, which is like Blades in the Dark. But yeah, those two especially. I do like Mouse Ritter a lot, that rule set. So, and then I've been reading a lot of Mothership and digging it. I'd like the opportunity to play it some more and then maybe run it.
Have you, speaking of Mouse Ritter, have you heard of Flare? Flail.
I did see some ads for that coming across my feed. So yeah, that's all like the Into the Odd rule set, if I remember correctly.
Yeah,
right?
I think it's being made by one of the Mouse Reader guys, and it's a similar system where you have like the little cutouts for your inventory. You gotta like do like a puzzle kind of thing, like a Mouse Reader. But looks interesting. But I'm trying to not pick it up.
I was thinking about Mouse Ritter recently because Edward, who's running Draw Steel on the Monday show, starting this Monday, one of the things he's been going on about is the fact that you don't do attack rolls in Draw Steel. When you attack, you just automatically hit and you roll the damage. And I was sitting around, I know we've done games like that before. I was sitting around trying to remember them. And the three that I know that we've played where you don't roll to attack, the attacks just always hit. It's Into the Odd, Mouse Ritter, and Crown and Skull. And it was funny to me because the reason to do that and the reason that it's cool when it's used is that it makes the combat go faster. You don't have a turn where you roll and you miss and nothing happens and you got to move on. It's no wasted turns. But at the same time, that makes it funny to me that it's in Draw Steel, because the Draw Steel combat section is the world's most nightmarish flowchart. It's so crazy.
No, yeah, I was watching a guy. He did like a grab bag of all the stuff he's gotten lately. And he got like the Mortborg set and all this stuff, and he got the Draw Steel Ultimate Collector's Edition thing with the slipcase, and he took both of the books out, laid them on the table, and he says into the camera, "Man, I actually don't feel like playing this game anymore," because it was just such a huge book. And he's like, "I'd rather just play Mortborg right now, or rather play a different OSR game," because he says he's reached a point in his life where he doesn't think he can memorize a huge system again with the amount of time he has. Which I understand. You know, so like some people don't have that much time to learn a system. So
okay, Pepper, here's another question for you. What is on your shelf of shame that you want to run or play and you've owned it forever and you just haven't done it?
Is it still in shrink wrap?
Mothership specifically, but not so much shame on that. But that's just not fair, Steve. But yeah, Mothership especially, I'd really like to run that setting, so to speak. Other games, yeah. I just can't. There's a few, and I just can't think of them all. So I'm going to pass on that with just that answer.
I got a couple on my shelf at home. Like I got different Cthulhu ones that I haven't played yet. Like I got Pulp Cthulhu, haven't played that yet. I got the Western Cthulhu, haven't played that yet.
The Japanese Cthulhu,
haven't played that yet. The World War II Cthulhu, the World War I Cthulhu. I got so many different Cthulhu settings that I haven't played yet.
I'll tell you what, some Monday I'm just going to schedule a Japanese Cthulhu game and you're going to have to let us fight Godzilla.
I mean, unless you guys get to ride mechs, I don't think you're gonna beat them. Like,
We're never gonna beat anything in that film. That's not the point.
that's true. What else? My shame wall has. There's a lot of board games I have that I haven't cracked open that I still in shrink wrap.
So here's what I looked over and saw that prompted the question. And I know Pepper has this too.
What's that?
John Carter of Mars.
Oh,
This is a 2D20 game, and I bought it on a sale years ago. And Pepper and I have commiserated about it, about it's 2 books, and it's just so much.
yeah. It's just
I ended up with the whole line of that, actually.
Oh, really?
So beautiful, yeah.
it's just blocks and blocks of text.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Like I'm taking
Those land-
I'm just like, oh boy.
I dig the landscape paging layout of that. I'd like to see more rule books do that. It's just kind of a fun
It
thing.
is fun. It came with a campaign book, too. That's good.
I'm trying to remember what else I have.
Sounds like someone just got here.
Oh.
My goodness. Thanks, everyone, for coming. Max is here, gang.
Hi.
Welcome.
What's
welcome.
up, bro?
I'm so sorry.
Max,
No, it's okay.
I
I
have a question.
had a needle in my arm for about 45 minutes.
What, blood donation?
Yeah.
Whoa, these are fucking cool. What the hell?
Weren't you here last Friday? We used them. You were.
I was.
You were sitting too far away.
I didn't see them.
Let's all applaud for blood donation.
Woo!
Everyone who can give blood should give blood. I used to do it every 8 weeks, and I got out of the habit.
I just want to say, someone mentioned mine is Band of Blades,
Band of Blades. Yeah.
Argon, Mothership,
Sunder Isle.
Thunder Isles.
We're talking about Shelf of Shame. This was mine.
Shelf of Shame?
Games
Yeah.
you have and have never run or played.
Yeah, games you have.
John Carter of Mars.
That are just sitting there.
Damn. Astro Prisma would be mine.
I don't know what that is.
It's a spacefaring game that is single. It's to be run. I guess by yourself. Damn it! What are they called? Solo RPGs. It's solo. Oh my gosh, Mia, hi. I didn't see you. Hello. Astro Prisma. Solo RPG. It's very fun. It's just the fact that I just don't have the time. Actually, I have plenty of time.
No, yeah,
I have no excuse.
I was gonna say, Chris. Before I met Steve, I was going through a big board game phase where I was just buying tons of board games, and one of the people I played board games with, she knew Steve, and then that's how I met Steve, was through her. So I was like, man, I kind of want to play D&D, but I have no one to play with. And she's like, oh, I play D&D with these guys all the time. You should come.
Yep.
And that's how we met.
Now I haven't seen that person in years.
Yeah, but thankfully I stuck around.
Yeah.
But I have a ton of board games that are in my house that I've never played, and I feel bad about it. I should really just sell them, but I can't part with them.
Betrayal of House on the Hill, or whatever the fuck it's called.
Yeah.
That I have, and I've never played it.
Yeah.
Okay. I have never played my own copy.
Yeah.
I played one that I gave my sister, I think, for her birthday. We played it at her house. And I played it at Edward's house or his friend Matt, I forget which. But I played with Edward. I've never played that copy.
I have a board game called the Count of Monte Cristo. Which
There's a board game for that?
Yeah.
Of course there is. Fuck. Great book, great movie.
Yeah.
Movies.
And I haven't played it because I've heard it's so hard to set up and everything, but I'm just but I wanted it because of how great the movie was.
That is the thing with like board games. They're so much fun, but fuck
It's hard to set up.
It's so hard to set up.
Yeah.
And the time commitment for that is just like It's a lot.
Like
Remember, Bond came over one time.
Eldritch Horror.
Yeah, well, yeah, he came over with it wasn't Eldritch Horror. It was a game like that, a Cthulhu game, a board game that he came over. We spent literally 4 hours just pulling out the tokens and the cards and arranging them the way you're supposed to have them, going through the instructions. Oh no, these go over here. 4 hours, and the night was over by the time we were done with setup.
To hardcore board game players, I know the breed because when I was still hanging out with Bond, he took me to a board game convention, right over here near LAX called Strategicon, and these were people who were playing a board game literally for 12 hours straight, where they were playing what's called Twilight Imperium, and that game literally takes 12 hours to play. And I'm just like, damn! Like I can maybe do 4 or 5 max, but
max.
But a 12-hour game. That's just insane.
Any like worker placement game is just forever and a day and huge setup. And I kind of was thinking, I mentioned this earlier, Hero System version 5 as a wall of shame. The supplement books for that, for information, like their Star Hero, and those are great sources of information, but never did actually play the game.
2161 knows what I'm talking about. Twilight Imperium. Yeah, you know what that shit is about.
Yeah.
Like there was also another one called oh shit,
Punch the camera.
No. It's called Scythe. That's what it's called.
Oh, sorry. I've heard of that one.
And it's like it has mechs, but it's also farming. It's like a weird mix of farming and mechs.
Well, here-
but I saw people play it, and they were like, "Oh, did you guys just start?" Yeah, it's been like 6 hours.
So, what was I going to say? Oh, you're talking about games that take 12 hours to play. Monopoly, very famously, you can play for a week, but it takes 4 seconds to set up.
Oh, yeah.
And that's the important difference.
Yeah.
Nobody's ever finished a game of Monopoly, but nobody's ever had a hard time getting started.
I've actually was able to finish one, and yeah.
Did you win?
No, my wife did. Of course she did.
You let her win.
No. She thinks very strategically.
I was going to say, every time you tell me something about Alyssa, I just picture her going, "I've outmaneuvered Max once again."
No, literally. Anytime I'm like, I'm winning at anything, she just locks in and just, I don't know, does that much better. I'm like, I'm at the top of my game. I'm doing well. I'm excited about it. She gets mad. I get cocky, and then she beats me.
She got all the railroads, didn't she?
Oh no, she just kept outbidding us with the houses. We were playing it with a group of friends. It was a lot of fun.
I played a full game of Monopoly because I just don't have the mindset for it, because we'll get to that point where where people are start negotiating with each other. I just don't know what to do. Because people are so much better at negotiating than I am.
Yeah.
Like that's a genuine fault that I have, where they'll be like, "Oh, you should sell me that, and I'll give you this." I'll be like, "Okay."
Yeah, let me figure out my real money situation before I do Monopoly.
Looking at your wallet, just.
I'm not good with money.
You see me in a game of Monopoly. Here's 20 real dollars.
I remember with in the negotiation part, we were all trying to beat Alyssa because she was doing so well that I was pleading with this person that just would not negotiate with anybody. I was like, "She's going to win, please."
Just like I refuse.
Oh man,
That's the hard thing, because there's another game called something Hitler.
Kill Hitler.
Kill Hitler.
Let's kill Hitler.
Is it Kill Hitler, or it's something Hitler? But it's like
Something Hitler.
it's like the werewolf game. Something werewolf. But
You go on.
something vampire.
well, it's a board game where everyone are playing as townspeople, but one of them or two of them are a werewolf.
Okay.
And each night you have to vote on who.
Oh, secret.
Oh,
Secret werewolf.
okay. This sounds like Mafia.
Yeah, it's
It's Mafia.
yeah.
Okay.
But so every night you have to negotiate on who to kill that night.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
But I suck at those games because if I'm the werewolf, people will find out right away because I'll give myself away. Or if someone is the werewolf, I'll be like, that guy's not the werewolf. And I was just like, and in Secret Hitler, they go one step further where they have like this track guard where Hitler has like 3 people that are helping him. So if the 3 people win, even if Hitler dies, the 3 people can still win, and Hitler's team still wins.
Yeah,
So I'm just not good at negotiation games.
I'm pretty sure I made Sarah fall in love with me in a game of Mafia. I'm pretty sure that's when it happened.
Oh really?
Here's
Oh, I was like, like what?
we were in this group on campus, and there was, I don't know, 10-ish, maybe 8 people in the room, and back at USC, and
Right on.
thank you, whatever, and one guy in the room had never played Mafia before, and we were trying to explain the rules to him, and he was having a hard time getting it. We finally felt like he understood, so we played our first round. I was the sheriff. The very first round, we woke up, and that guy who'd never played before was the victim. He was dead. I said, Sarah's the killer.
Damn.
Do you know why?
Because she saw him as the weakest, or
She killed him on purpose so that he could watch the game and figure out how it worked for a round. And I was like, the person who would do that is Sarah.
Yeah.
And it was immediate. I was 100% confident. It was the first round, and she was so blown away. And then about 5 years later, we started dating.
And it started at that Mafia game.
Sure. I've never seen anyone so impressed with me as she was that night. I was like, how did you know? Are you in my head?
fell in love with the cop.
Yeah.
I see.
Yeah.
Monopoly ruins relationship. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
There was during my board game phase where I played so many games like that where they have like negotiation and stuff built in. I'm just not good at that stuff. I'm just too honest. I'll just be like,
That's what you are.
yeah, I'm just
It's definitely not that you're bad at the game.
just too honest because you can read my face very well. But like Alan, are you the killer? No. And it's like,
And you wink.
I'm just not good at those games. Pepper, what board games do you like? Or do you like board games? I don't even know.
I'm sorry, you directed that at me, correct? Yeah. It's hard to say because we played a lot of Monopoly and Risk over the years. I do have a bunch of board games that I haven't really played yet, like a few Zombicide versions of that, some old Avalon Hill games. I mean, I've got a pretty big collection as well. So it's just collecting dust.
There's a Babylon 5 board game. That's like werewolf. That I've never played, but I heard it's good.
Something Babylon 5.
Something
Something Babylon.
something Hitler.
I think it's called Secret Hitler. I think that's what it's called.
Yes, that's exactly what it is. Yeah.
I went Alan can't play any of those lying games. Yeah, I'm just not good at those games because
I'm lying right now.
I always have those friends that are really good at lying. I get so mad at them because they're just so good. They're very charismatic when it comes to lying.
I thought you were going to say erotic.
You play those games to figure that out about your friends so you know whether you can trust them or not.
Right.
I guess so.
And just find a wife.
I know also that.
Or you get into a group where they all found the wife and you're just the guy singled out.
Oh, hence why you're the werewolf.
Yeah, and that's why I'm always the werewolf, and that's why I played a werewolf in Campaign 3. I'm Campaign 2, because I'm used to it.
Campaign 2.
Yeah.
Campaign 2.
Looking forward to Campaign 3.
Yo, Campaign 2 was great, wasn't it?
Oh my god, it was so good. It was so good.
Edward the other day was trying to get me into like a pirate MMO video game with him, and I was like, I need a couple of years from pirates.
Yeah. The thing is, because of our decisions, we didn't execute the pirate part well.
It was still nautical.
It was still nautical, yes.
Yeah, that's one thing I kind of wish we did was more pirating.
Yeah.
You guys never did any evil stuff.
To be fair, my character would not have wanted to do the pirate-esque thing because he was so like married to the idea of going back to his nation.
The only person who was sort of pirate-esque was Sally One-Eye, who was a former smuggler.
Yes.
And didn't do anything illegal during the game.
What was your favorite moment from campaign 2?
There were so many. Definitely fighting Daddy.
Anton Valriva.
Yeah.
It's one of
Daddy
those moments
Anton.
where you make a character and you don't think it's going to be that great, but everyone loves him.
Here's the crazy thing. Wasn't it me that first called him Daddy?
I think
And
so.
you guys never stopped calling him.
Because it was great. It made so much sense. Daddy Anton. Fighting Daddy was great. I think honestly, like the end of the campaign where we were celebrating your wedding, I had that last drink with Sally on the ship before I like went into the stars. Like for me, that whole entire like I don't know journey with my character to the point where it was just like such a sad ending. I was just like I was so heartbroken, but I was like it made so much sense. The devastation of having Matt's character. Oh, spoilers. Stop listening, I suppose. I don't know. Just Matt's character.
Don't ruin the end for me. Do what he did.
Doing what he did.
It's over. They know.
Yes.
I really liked the whole traveling to different planets part. I thought that was really interesting.
Jakeesh.
We
Reynard.
Jakeesh Reynard.
Yeah.
where we developed we combined our powers to make a spell that could make us travel between planets through time and space.
Oh my god, the time traveling aspect of it all.
I love that I worked so hard to get you guys a flying ship
Yeah.
that could go to space, but by the time you had earned it, you also had magic powers to just hop planets without a ship.
Yeah, it's such a really crazy ability.
Yeah.
And just the Worlds Without Number system, the abilities you can do are just crazy.
Yeah.
Especially the legged abilities.
Although I will say the spell that Matt used to hop planets with you guys was actually one I wrote. It was actually adapted from Dream of the Blue Veil, which was a D&D spell. There were a few different spells that I adapted, ported over, which is a great thing about Worlds Without Number and OSR games in general. If there's a spell you liked from another game, you can pretty easily just move it over.
Yeah. It's just the text portion and everything else just
Yeah, exactly. You just tweak the rules a little bit. So that was a spell he found in one of the books in the game and that I had given to him. And if I hadn't done that, you guys would have had to use the ship.
Yeah.
No, like what's another moment I really loved?
I don't know, but we're at 5 minutes. I'd like to just throw out a couple details for anyone interested in what's the future of the channel. Obviously, we're doing 18 in Shadows of the Abyss tonight.
Nice.
And when that's over, we're estimating, I think at this point, probably 40 episodes of Shadows of the Abyss in that range. There will be a little bit of Midlight City Operators coming back before we go into Campaign 3, which I'm going to be running in Dungeon Crawl Classics.
Yes.
We are working hard on finding a balance between using the DCC funnel to create characters and people such as Max and Matt who really like to plan their characters out a year in advance.
Yeah.
We're trying to make the two things work together. There are ways. And then there's also Alan and Yuri who are like, I don't fucking know. Let's see what happens.
All I know
great.
is I don't want to be a healer.
Well, I'm glad you're going to be in the Fiasco game today because I was thinking about it. Fiasco is like a microcosm of what I think should happen in a funnel.
Okay.
You create your relationships to the other characters first, and that is how you create your character. So rather than this is me, how do I know you? It's how do I know you, and who does that make me? So we'll be doing that on camera today when we do Fiasco. And that is similar to what happens in a funnel. You roll up a character, you find out what their experiences are through play, and by the end of it, you're like, oh, this guy's got to be a wizard.
I will say to those that are I guess have the same mentality as Matt and I, where we I keep pointing over here. That's where
Matt sits
Matt sits.
usually.
Where you think of a character and then, but your GM is wanting to play these funnel type games. The thing that's helped me is think of a place where all my characters would be coming from, and then building, I guess, the interworking relationships within that place. That's at least helped me.
Yeah. And just one last thing about Campaign 3. The thing I'm most excited about is we're leaving the planet of Archonia completely. We are setting this...
What are we going to be called?
The planet is called Carceres. We will be in the same universe.
Shadows of Carceres?
No, it's called Shadows of Archonia 3. Here's the thing. It's Shadows of Archonia, right? The Empire was like universe-wide.
Oh,
so
nice.
We can be anywhere. We're going to be on the planet Carceres. This will be the first time we're primarily setting the game off the world of Archonia. And it has given me a lot of freedom to create a whole new setting. And I have used that freedom to make it entirely one city. We are going to be in an urban Lankmar type setting. The city is called Thalaja. I've been rolling on making tables and then rolling on them. And I've got a whole map for it already. And these cloths that you see behind Max over there that I put up for sound dampening today are part of the decor that will be in the room.
I like
it. It's an Eastern-inspired city. We're going to find a better way to hang them. But we're going to have those. We're going to have lots of little lanterns on strings and things.
Fun.
These lamps that you see on camera will be out of the room. Sarah has... offered to become the set designer for us. So she bought these, and
I do have a question about the city.
Yeah.
Is the city low magic?
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, we're using pretty standard DCC rules. So,
But would people look at you differently if you do magic?
yes, there are a few official
right.
magic positions, university professors, certain members of the military. Everyone else, they don't like it. Yeah.
Okay. So you have to be certified.
Not necessarily certified, but yeah, it's a special thing. Anyway, hey, Sarah's in the chat.
Sarah.
What's up, Bear? I was just telling them how I made you fall in love with me in a game of Mafia. Watch your head. Yeah. Guys, we got to close out the welcome stream in about a half hour. We are going to start our first game, Dungeon Crawl Classics, DCC, which Chris and Lisa will be joining us for remotely, and these two guys in person. Pepper, before we sign out, any last words?
Nope, just a big thanks to everybody that has been watching over the years and participating in the streams with us on Tales from the Backlog. So, yeah, it's been awesome. And Steve, you're killing it, buddy. Keep it up.
Thank you very much. Pepper. My gosh, if you guys could see my to-do list from this week, it's been my mortal enemy. You checked something off for me you didn't even know.
You're welcome.
You didn't. All right. Thanks, everyone. We'll see you in about half an hour. Now, if this is set up right on... Oh, Sam says DCC is a hoax. I thought you said DCC is a hoax. I was like, tell me more.
Shots fired.
Yeah. If you're watching on YouTube, I try to take advantage of a feature I've never used over there. When this stream ends, it should roll you right over to the next stream so you can wait for it to start over there. Thanks, everyone, for watching.